Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mampolo from Mampolo's Canal. Renee, your mindset. Guys, it's high time that Africans, we stop blaming the colonial masters and then keep us where we are. Not be them. Colonial masters, Britain kept us where we are. They stole all our things. They did not steal all our things. Since we got independence, are they still stealing it? If they are stealing it, who is giving it to them? I'm asking you a question. If the Britons, if the colonial masters are still stealing your things from Africa, anyone who is your colonial master, who is giving them the things to steal? Are they not your leaders? They are Allah. I don't want to talk too much in this video. What I want to let you know is that it's high time we stop blaming them. Let's begin to hold our leaders to account. Let them begin to give us proper account of what they are using our money to do. Not blaming Oyibo people who are on their own. For those who want to know why they talk about this, let's first watch Peter Obi first. This video is loaded. Watch video. Odogu.
Thank you.
He's not the president, but people are always happy.
Your Excellency. Your Excellency.
Who be that?
Our dear Governor.
They don't even care about the governor.
Please, mine is just a remark.
You have stolen the show.
Your Excellency, our dear Governor, and my dear brother, Professor Charles Soludo. Your Excellency and our own dear mother.
He dey shame now. Charles Soludo dey shame. Look at his face.
So well.
Look at his
and
face.
All we can do today is to go back and reflect on that your wonderful speech.
He's loved.
And I thank my dear elder brother for inviting you. Mine is a simple remark which will not take more than 2-3 minutes. And it's to thank you most sincerely for the honor of coming to Nigeria for this wonderful lecture. Excellency, my little contribution to your speech is that the problem of Africa, problem of Nigeria, rests clearly on leadership. It is bad leadership that is the problem of Africa. It has nothing to do with colonialism. We were colonized years ago. Today, it is African leaders that have turned Africa into a gigantic criminal enterprise. And I'll give you an example. Let me use this university. Let me use this university to give you an example of the problem we face in our country. This university, if you're employed here, you work hard for several years to be a professor. And if you're a professor in this university, your salary is 400,000 naira.
Jesus.
And if they pay you without spending your money for 30 years, your salary will amount to 144 million, which is not up to what we used to buy a car for a legislator in Nigeria. That is the problem of Nigeria.
For a senator, that is the problem of Nigeria. So look at the shame now. He shame.
That is the problem of Nigeria.
But the answer, professor, you don't know the
that
problem.
That is number one.
Number one.
Number two, this university where you are, the overhead they give to the vice chancellor from federal government of Nigeria is about 10 million naira.
Total overhead cost.
So in 1 year, they will get about 120 million naira. They have over 500 professors, over 4,000 lecturers, over 40,000 students. They get 10 million naira, 120 million naira a year. So 5 of universities like this will get about 600 million naira annually, which if you convert to dollar today, is about 500,000 naira. That is what we use to go to a meeting of United Nations for 1 week. It's unacceptable. That is the problem of Nigeria.
It's unacceptable.
That is the problem of Africa.
That is the problem of Nigeria. Truth is always straightforward.
We can afford to do that with less than 10%. So it's clearly on our distance.
So I thank
you for being part of this crusade. I'm sure our governor, every other person, we are part of this crusade. We must dismantle this criminality.
We must dismantle it.
Thank you and God bless you.
Soludo is ashamed now with your professorship. You don't know the problem we have in Nigeria, don't you?
Thank you very much, yes.
We must dismantle it. Obi. You study show. You see, anybody who is truthful and godly and righteous, when they speak, the crowd, they command respect. The crowd respect. You people, I'm a professor and diplomatic, and when I go see truth, I don't go talk. Shame. Now, to confirm what P2B have said now, there is a white guy that came to support this thing. He said, not be colonialism whole, not be Oyibo people whole, no, so then they're free. No Yibo. He said, no, we are not the problem. The problem is African leaders that are giving this colonial master, that are giving their resources and stealing and giving to them. Those are their problem. Not the African people, not the white guys, not the colonial masters. You keep blaming them for your failures and corruptions. Stop blaming them. For those who never see this white guy, brilliant guy, watch video.
If you've been on TikTok for a while, you must have heard about a ton of Africans telling you that Europeans stole Africa's resources. Now, there's a lot to say about that. First and foremost, most of these resources are still in Africa, and they're not being stolen by Europeans. They're actually being sold to Europeans by the African state leadership. Your own elites are robbing you. It's not us doing it, not anymore. The real issue, of course, is why aren't Africans using their own resources to do things? Why does Mr. Beast have to go to Kenya to build water wells? Why didn't the Kenyan government do it themselves? I suppose the Kenyan government could have done it themselves. They just chose not to do it. Nigeria is now a country of almost 220 million people, the largest country in Africa. But they only produce about 10% of the electricity that a small country like Hungary. Hungary only has 10 million people, but they produce 10 times as much electricity as Nigeria does. I mean, I know you want to have your Wakanda, right? But do you expect white people to give it to you? No, you're supposed to build it yourself. Having said all this, it is of course obvious that we Europeans in the North need to prepare for a possible, potential African rise in terms of technology and therefore also in terms of military capacity. And that means we in Europe need to already start looking ahead and thinking ahead about how we are going to win the war against Africa, because there will be a future war between Europe and Africa.
No, is the guy. Do you think I'm biased? I'm not biased. The guy is right. He's very, very right. He's absolutely right. Not until we Africans we begin to disease from stealing, corruption, and building our continent, building our countries, nothing will change. I saw one of the Malawian president in the past. I've seen that video before. What he was putting in place to combat unnecessary expenses, to reduce corruption in Malawi. That guy was brilliant. I don't know whether I still be the president till now. But when I saw what that guy was cutting, he said, we cut this, we cut this. We don't have money now. We must have to plan ourselves to survive. Cut unnecessary expenses. No, if all other African countries, especially Nigeria, if we are imitating this Malawian president, do you think we will be where we are? No. For those who never see the Malawian president, they cut costs. They design economy how it's supposed to be. All right, now, watch the video.
I know that there will be some who created this mess that I'm now cleaning up, who will be the loudest in calling me names, claiming that I am the problem, and calling on citizens to attack me. But I'm not intimidated by that.
No.
I'm here to serve Malawians. And to do so, I'm prepared to do things that are painful as long as they are the right things. The most painful thing by far has been the recent devaluation of our currency to correct the false value of the kwacha based on nothing and rebuild true value in the kwacha based on production of exports. I know that this decision has caused a lot of pain. And I know that all of us now have to make big adjustments in spending. so that we can prioritize those areas that are most productive and stay the course until our economy becomes productive and profitable again. In making those painful adjustments, I myself have to lead by example. This is why, effective immediately, all of my international trips between now and the end of the fiscal year, beginning with my trip to COP28 at the end of this month, are canceled.
They are canceled.
By extension, I'm putting a freeze on all public-funded international trips for all public officers at all levels, including those in parastatals, until the end of the financial year in March. In fact, all cabinet members currently abroad on public-funded trips must return to Malawi with immediate effect.
Yes.
Any travel deemed absolutely necessary by anyone during that period must be submitted to my office for my personal authorization.
Approval.
Secondly, I order that all fuel entitlements for cabinet ministers, principal secretaries, directors, and all members of senior management of public institutions should be cut in half with immediate effect. Thirdly, until further notice, I order the Secretary, the President, and Cabinet to circulate to all public institutions a criteria for local trainings and local travel that will be acceptable, as well as a cap on how much of their budgets can be spent on allowances for such trainings and trips. By doing this, I am effectively ending the practice of draining public coffers to spend on allowances for useless activities.
Thank you. Thank you. For useless activities. If all the leaders in Africa, especially in Nigeria, they're emulating this man, they do this thing, you think we're going to be where we are? This is a country, especially in Nigeria, where one governor will remain. When he finish 8 years, he go look for another criminal, put for power, so that they continue looting us, looting. One president will finish, you look for the next presidential criminal. They will put them in the office, Africa, so that they will still be stealing. You will be blaming. You'll be blaming. What do you call it? Colonial masters. Are you not the one signing and stealing it out to the colonial masters? You are blaming colonial master. Who are you blaming? Go and blame your leaders. I'm telling you. Somebody will finish 8 years. He will determine the person that will come next again. Like Yaya Bello of Kogi State. Yaya Bello of Kogi State. Do your own for whether 8 years he did that. You don't do your own finish as governor. He has to determine for Kogi people who will be the next governor of Kogi State. And the same way it is on the state level, the same way it is on the federal level. What can we do? For those who never see the new governor, I don't know what they call, whether Ahmed they call him of Kogi State, where they kneel down, they greet the masters for enthroning him after his own tenure has expired. All right, now watch the video. You don't need that. Give your masters. You don't give your master. Why not? That's the problem of Africa. This. You are a leader. You are a leader. You are a leader. You are. Now the problem of Africa be that one. You need to kneel down. Now. Yaya Bello will be in one room controlling what is happening in Kogi State because he's now the political master. He's now the political grandfather of this one, a big political godfather, what they call him. I don't blame him. Stop blaming Oyibo people. Stop blaming colonial master. Stop blaming the West of your failure. We are our problem. Our leaders are our problem. Go and hold them to account. Let them tell you what they are doing with the money. I don't want to talk too much. I've had enough. Guys, if you love what you're doing, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, even on TikTok. All our man police and love, guys. Peace out.